Sophie, we've got over the line, 2-0, third in the Premier League. The season has finished. We did it, man. We did it. There were some nervy moments in that game as well. Maybe not as nervy as we might have thought. It wasn't like De Gea was having to make save after save, but it wasn't the greatest of performances. In the lead up to it, the West Ham game, the Southampton game, couple of little hiccups along the way. The Chelsea game didn't help. And little doubts were starting to creep in about, is the mentality of this team there? But on the flip side of that, after Project Restart, the fact that the players have got themselves together and put us in that situation where it was in our hands, you can't say fairer than that. They have provided the goods, and Ole has done brilliantly.
Yeah, firstly, I want to start with, I think Ole deserves credit. We've seen, obviously, a lot of people judging him throughout the season. A lot of people not thinking he had the capability to get us there. We finished third this season. I mean, you look back, like, nobody expected us to finish third this season. So he's done a fantastic job. He deserves credit for that. I'm sure he and the players will be looking forward to having a bit of a break. I know we've obviously got Europa League, but I think we were just shattered, if I'm honest, Flex. I know we've been slacking the last few games. I think Bruno in particular, it looked like he could hardly run today, but he's proven different yet again. He had a vital involvement. I just think we look leggy, and I think it shows, obviously, we do need to invest in the summer, but having the Champions League behind us now, obviously, it gives us more of a chance of Ole getting his targets.
It does, and that was the biggest thing. I mean, this win, and I don't want to put a downer on it. This is just how real it is. This win was like the difference between having a shocking season, or this result, should I say, because we could have drawn, was the difference between having an awful season and thinking, where is this team going? What's the mentality saying? How are we going to build? And what we have done, saying we've kicked on, we've got over the next hurdle of the rebuild, we're continuing our journey.
Yeah, I think you look at it since, obviously, Project Restart, we've been unbeaten in the league. And you have to give us credit for that. I know we've had a few dodgy draws and we've got lucky a few times, of course, but we're the only team who've done that, I believe. So that's credit to Ole and himself and to the players. I think I said it in my last fan cam. I felt like we were going to crawl over the line, and I think we eventually did that. It wasn't convincing. It wasn't convincing, but I said I would take a scrappy 0-0 draw. Like I'm buzzing that we scored 2 goals as well. I'm absolutely buzzing for Jesse Lingard on a personal level as well. He's had a lot of stick, and obviously off the field he's had his own issues as well. And I'm happy for him. I think that was a nice way to finish the season. Jesse Lingard netting. I got a bit emotional. I don't know about anyone else, but like seeing Jesse score that, it could have obviously be his last goal for the club. And yeah, I'm grateful that we're in the Champions League. So, like I say, we're lucky to be there. Any other season, you wouldn't have teams bottling it the way that they have done this season. But we've taken advantage of that, and Ole's done his job.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, I said in a fan cam before this that it was great to see that for Jesse, and I didn't want to be disrespectful and say, you know, like you said, you don't want to be saying, oh, it's definitely his last game and all that. But with the struggles that he has, exactly, it could be. And with the struggles that he has had, it was kind of fitting that he kind of put the cherry on top. But with Solskjaer going forward now in this summer, how ruthless does Solskjaer need to be? What sort of things do we need to kick on now? Because clearly we've seen at vital times in this little run-in, the bench, he's been really reluctant to go to it, really reluctant to change it much from that first 11. And we've still finished, 30-odd points behind Liverpool. I'm not trying to put a dampener on it. I'm just saying from a realistic point of view, we've got over the line and it's fantastic. What are you expecting to see now? Now we have put ourselves into this position, into a great position to use that as a springboard to kick on.
I think he's got to be ruthless. I think we already know there's a lot of players. We've mentioned Lingard already. There's other players in the club who we'd say should have gone a long time ago. They're not quality. They're not the right quality of player looking for to compete at the top level. So I think it needs to be critical of players. We need to be harsh on some players who shouldn't be at the club. We've got Phil Jones, for example, who's been at the club, 9 years now. These are the kind of players that we need to be getting rid of, in my opinion. And of course, who we bring in is going to be interesting. Grealish is an interesting one after keeping Villa up today. A lot of United fans think he could be possibly coming to us.
You might see it as the job done. I've done my bit now. I can go on to leave on a good note.
He'll leave it in a positive place, knowing that he kept the club that he loves up. So yeah, I think it'd be the perfect story for him to come to United. Sancho obviously has constantly been linked with us Champions League. People believe will be the turning point on that. If we get Sancho, if we can get a midfielder and another centre back in, who knows where we'll be next season. But I think all his signings so far, we've looked at them all individually, and they've all been good signings. Yes, we overpaid for Maguire, but he has improved us at the back. I think just back Ole in the summer in the transfer window, because if he's got the tools to do the job, then you judge him afterwards. But at the moment, he's got half a squad, and there's still a lot of players that aren't good enough.
I think that's the key there, where you said it there. Ole needs that backing now. I mean, you've given him. They've got him some good targets in last summer. You can't argue with that. Maguire and Bissaka have have done well, and James did all right in that summer. Halfway through the season, they got in Bruno. He's done well. Igalo filled the void that we needed him to fill. So they are backing Ole. And if you look at it, the pressure is on the board, because now, I don't want to say more than ever, because it's always each stage of the rebuild is just as important as the last. It was important for us to get players in to get us challenging so we could get 3rd/4th. But now to kick on and make a title challenge, or to close the gap, more importantly, with Liverpool and City, they've got to back himself.
Yeah, like seeing Liverpool win the league this season, it's been absolutely horrible as a United fan. Like it's killed us. So I think the board should be taking obviously heed on that and thinking we've got to react. We already knew Bill Moles off it, but seeing Liverpool actually lift the trophy, surely that's enough of a kick up the backside that you need as United to bounce back from that and build in this summer. It's exciting times for us. Like I say, I think Champions League was a massive thing. The fact that we struggled and we finally, like I say, crawled over the line and got that, I think is a massive positive for us, and hopefully we can get the players in that Ole's looking for. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a big name player. We've seen that. I think he just needs to get the specific targets. We don't need to buy Galacticos. We don't need players that are going to fill a gap. We want players who are going to play in their right position and play for the standard that we need.
Who was your player of the season and why?
Put me on the spot there.
I know. I didn't want to tell him I was going to ask him that. You got to respect it. So the last game of the season's over. I've got to ask you.
I think Rashford before the lockdown was quality. Since the lockdown, I don't think he's got to himself, but I think he was very much carrying the team that first part of the season. Fred had a mad, obviously, first half of the season as well, but I'm going to give it to Rashford purely on that. But it's harsh to give it to Bruno Fernandes when he's only played a handful of games. But
you know what? I'll let you into a bit of a secret. You wouldn't have seen him yet, but Nura didn't give it Bruno Fernandes, and so did.
I can understand it. I can understand it. Yeah. It seems that he's had. Yeah, I mean, Wan-Bissaka's another one as well. He's debuted in the United shirt. It's harsh, but that's a nice thing to have as well. Like, how many seasons has it been where De Gea just snaps that? Like, we've actually got a choice this year, and I like that. So, yeah.
Say Martial as well, you know?
You know what? Martial, again, I thought he didn't have much service, but he looked sharp. Obviously, he won the penalty, he's run, and Greenwood nicking the ball as well. I think that's something that Ole's trying to instill in the players, and Martial has done that quite a lot since lockdown, nicking the ball off the midfielders, and I'm liking that. Martial, I think he's ended this season superbly, and I'm hoping he can kick on from that now and start the next season the same. I used to call him Anthony Partial for a reason. I just don't think we got enough out of him, and I think we're finally seeing now what he's capable of. So I'm hoping he can push on from that.
So you used to call him that?
I did. I'll admit it, Anthony Partial, and it was only because I understood that he's talented, and I just wanted to see more of that. But I also accepted the fact that he didn't have the service, so I was always fair with it.
You let me down. So I thought he was Martial FC for life. What's going on?
No, you know me. Fair criticism. That's me.
Yeah, listen. It's not. And you know what? At a time like this, it's not even about Martial FC or Bruno. Like Sophie saying, that the team has done fantastically well, and for Ole and the team who are all growing into this new Manchester United, it's massive for them what they've achieved. Last thing before you go, what out of 10 are you giving Ole for the season?
He's got us into 3rd. Nobody expected that. It's like 10. God, I'm going to say 8. 8. I only got 8. That 10 would have to be winning the title.
Yeah,
I've seen Liverpool lift the trophy, so it's hard to say any higher than that. I'm going to go at 8 because he's exceeded expectations. Nobody expected that. He's had a lot of stick as well. Obviously, people are saying Ole's 8, but Ole's still at the wheel, man. He's still at the wheel, and I'm excited for next season already. I know, like, he's still got Europa League, but I just can't believe we got 3rd. Like, you look at the season we've had, how many points we've dropped. I just can't get my head around how have we got 3rd, but we've got it. And like I say, credit to the players, credit to Wally for getting us there. And let's hope we can continue getting closer to Liverpool and Man City now.
I'll see you Europa League with feet up and a cigar in the mouth.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
All right, nice one, Soph.